This is Optimal Living Daily Relationships, Episode 70, Tips for Traveling with Kids by Babauta of Zen Habits, and I'm Joss Marie, your host and personal narrator, right here on the Relationships edition of Optimal Living Daily. This is the show where I read to you every Monday through Friday from some of the best relationship blogs out there. Some of the topics I cover include dating, heartbreak, marriage, family, and parenting, just to list a few. And we always strive to bring a variety of different perspectives to the table by featuring many authors. Today, I have a parenting post by Babauta of Zen Habits, I'm particularly eager to hear his advice for traveling with children, given that he wrote this article while traveling abroad with his 6 kids. Also, I know one thing that comes to mind that would make traveling with a family easier: having snacks on hand. And not just any snacks, but healthy and delicious snacks. Kind, supporters of Optimal Living Daily Relationships, make healthy and delicious snacks that would be perfect for traveling with a family. And they have a special deal going on right now. You can try their sample box with 10 different Kind bars for just $10, with free shipping. That's a $20 value. For details, go to kindsnacks.com/living. And with that, let's hear Babauta's post about traveling with children and continue optimizing your life. Tips for Traveling with Kids by Babauta of Zen Habits. As I write this, I'm in London with Eva and all 6 kids on our European adventure. I'm in the middle of my grand travel experiment and we're all excited as hell. A number of people asked me to share how we went about planning this and if I have any tips for traveling with kids. So, here you go. This is a post with some of the things I've been doing to plan and keep the trip a fun and peaceful one with our large family. Planning tips. Well, we've been planning and saving for this trip for a while now. I have a regular savings fund just for travel, and we don't buy a lot of things, so the savings is automatic and healthy right now. We also use lots of rewards miles that I've been accumulating to help lower costs. Number 1, democratic planning. One of the best things we did was plan the trip as a family. We did this by voting on our destination cities using an online poll. We then took the winners and did a second poll, where everyone voted on how many days to devote to each city, and averaged out the results. Thus, our itinerary was created. Number 2, have them take responsibilities. We had the 4 older kids each take one of the cities and find an Airbnb apartment for that city. That means we had to decide what neighborhood to live in. I use a combo criteria that uses the density of things to see, vegan restaurant options, and good coffee shops. And then they had to do a search for good apartments that had criteria like a washer, decent photos and reviews, enough space and bathrooms for our large family, and so on. Number 3, pack light. By now, the kids have all adopted the pack light philosophy, and we travel with 1 light backpack each and no roller bags or other luggage. The younger ones carry their own small backpack. This allows us to easily navigate cities, airports, trains, and buses with our packs, and we don't get tired from lugging things around. The packing approach. Take as little as possible and wash clothes at each destination so we don't need a lot of extra clothes. Give them responsibility. We try to teach them self-sufficiency by asking them to help out with travel responsibilities as we travel. Of course, this has to be appropriate to their abilities and ages. But 2 of our kids are actually adults now, and 2 are nearly adults, so they can definitely share most responsibilities. Even the younger 2 have things to do. Number 1, take turns being leaders. On past trips, I usually play the role of being leader. But this trip, I asked them to each take a day where they are responsible for planning, navigating, finding restaurants, and more. This should give them a lot of travel skills they haven't developed much before. But we're just starting this experiment, so we'll see how it goes. Number 2, let them take care of their own stuff. I think as parents, we have a tendency to check on what the kids have packed, make sure everyone has their stuff, wash their clothes for them. But the philosophy I like best is to let them figure it out. It's their stuff, and if they forget things or lose them, they'll figure things out. Happy traveling. All of the logistics are great, but what about happiness while you're walking for hours around a city and kids are tired and hungry? I don't claim to have all the answers in this area, but here are some things I've been trying to do. Number 1, give them a spirit of adventure. Things will go wrong. We'll get lost, miss trains, and so forth. And that can be frustrating for our family. Or it can be a part of the adventure. So I try to talk to them about how we're going on an adventure, and things going wrong and getting lost is all a part of that. Putting them in the right frame of mind can be helpful. Number 2, be flexible. It's easy to get stuck into a rigid schedule and try to hit everything on your plan. But we all know that plans always go wrong. So I've found it helpful to make a more flexible approach and not plan everything rigidly. We often have an idea of what we want to do each day, decided the day before, perhaps. But it's best if we go with the flow of things and decide each activity as we go. This way, we're not stressed out when things don't go according to plan. Number 3, don't rush. I tend to rush, if I'm being honest. I don't know why. It just seems in my nature to want to walk fast and expect everyone to keep up. I've been trying to remind myself not to be in a rush, though I often forget. There's no need to get everything done in a day, and while I don't like to miss a flight, we try to leave a little early so we don't have to rush everyone, even if I prefer to wait until the last minute when I'm alone. And I've also found that it's not the end of the world if we miss a train or flight. Anyway, main lesson for me, take your time, don't rush people, and everyone is happier. Number 4, realize they get frustrated too. It's easy for parents to get frustrated when kids don't behave perfectly. But honestly, why would we ever expect them to behave ideally? The truth is, they get frustrated and tired and grumpy just like we do. So when they behave imperfectly, daily, just like me, I try to remind myself to breathe and to feel their frustration, to see that they are tired, to realize they're struggling with things, and to feel compassion for their struggles. Number 5, drop expectations. My mission this trip is to remind myself to drop my expectations of the kids and of the trip in general, and just be there with them. Just experience the joy of travel with them. Number 6, remind ourselves to be grateful. I've been constantly asking them and myself, how lucky are we to be here right now? In the middle of a trip, it can be easy to forget how great our lives are, how amazing it is to be where we are. And sometimes we just have to stop and take notice and appreciate the moment around us. You just listened to the post titled, Tips for Traveling with Kids by Babauta of Zen Habits, and&nbsp. I personally love the tip about realizing that children get frustrated, tired, and grumpy, just like we do. Sometimes it is super difficult to remember this, especially before they can verbalize or express how they feel. I think back to when Lee and I were traveling with our son in March. At the time, he was only 11 months old, and our level of success seemed to be directly correlated to reducing the popping in his ears while flying, strategically planning his naps so that he would ideally sleep on the plane, and entertaining him when he wasn't sleeping. In the end, we realized that having plenty of snacks on hand was crucial to keeping him happy. Speaking of, Kind makes healthy and delicious snacks that are perfect for the airplane. Not only are they hassle-free, but they're made with whole ingredients that you can actually recognize and pronounce, like whole grains and whole nuts. If you'd like to have some of these tasty and satisfying snacks on hand for the next time you travel with your family, we've got a special deal just for you. For $10, you'll get a box with 10 kind snacks inside, including free shipping. That's a $20 value you're getting for just $10. And when you order the sample box, you'll also get to try Kind Snack Club, where you'll receive monthly snacks at a discount, starting with $10 off your first Snack Club order. You shouldn't have to choose between your health and taste when it comes to snacking. That's why both award-winning chefs and nutritionists love and recommend Kind bars. I'm personally in love with their peanut butter dark chocolate flavor because, let's face it, who isn't? To pick up your sample box, go to kindsnacks.com/living. That's KIND snacks.com/living. And that's a wrap for episode 70. If you happen to listen to episode 35, you may remember me mentioning how great of a feat it was to have reached that milestone. And now, here we are, doubling that. So I'd just like to take a moment and show my gratitude to all of you by saying thank you. Thank you so much for joining me here today and listening to yet another wonderful post that Justin Mullick hand-selected. I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to narrate for you. The content is truly remarkable and inspiring. I learn something new every day from it, and I hope you do too. Thanks again for your support. I hope you continue to join me every weekday, and I look forward to seeing you again on Monday, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Mullick, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.